like either discussed
like
or
on yeah.
Hold on, it's mine. Let me
can't
explain
resist.
it.
He can't resist.
Mark Rambu Weaves, my name is Cole, his name is Mike, his name is Jay, we like anime, and this is episode 105 of the Anime Protagonist Podcast.
Opening it up with a bang, I like it.
Yeah. And on this week's episode, we are going to review the greatest manga of our time. No, sorry. The greatest manga of all time.
All time, yes.
Kagurabachi. Could they not? I mean, even the name just screams peak goat.
Yeah, pure goat.
And we're also going to discuss other manga / light novels that we think will be nice, could potentially be nice anime. But before we get into any of that, I was just saying to my friends here before we get into the review as well.
Are you going to bring them in?
What?
You're going to bring them onto the podcast?
I was I just want to make like a public service announcement.
Okay.
If you go to a movie by yourself, sit there and be quiet and watch the movie.
Well, if you're by yourself, who are you talking to anyway?
That's a very good question.
Was someone talking to themselves during the movie?
Yes.
Was it you?
It wasn't me. I went to see Godzilla -1 yesterday by myself. I like the solo movie experience sometimes. You know you just sit down. It's a mission. You're in, you're out, you're done.
I think people are so scared to go do things by themselves a lot of the time, but like there's literally no reason to see a movie with another person.
Yeah, I mean it's fun to see. Fun. Yeah,
I mean, but legitimately, the only thing you do when you go see a movie with someone else is after the movie you go, "That was a good movie."
Yeah, and then you're both tired and want to go and do something, like you want to go home right after because the movie's probably like 2.5 hours, and then but. No, it is nice going and seeing with people, but like there's no actual benefit.
You don't need
really.
to.
Yeah.
Just go see a movie by yourself. It's totally fine.
There's no awkward, like sometimes you might have that like, oh, do you want to do something after? And then there's that one guy that's like, I kind of want to go home.
Yeah, I kind of want to go home and write my diary. But you know what you definitely shouldn't do if you go see a movie by yourself? Is talk to yourself the whole movie.
Talk to yourself, yeah. So I'm sitting there watching Godzilla -1. I got my ticket by myself. I did invite you guys, but everybody was busy. That's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. You can let us have it. You can rip us a new one.
No. I mean, you were busy. Jay was working, I think.
I was
Mike
working.
was on a plane. And I was sitting watching a movie. And I picked a seat where I thought nobody... Like I had a buffer on either side of me, nobody was going to be around me. I had one seat on either side.
Yeah.
Well, of course, guy beside me was also a solo moviegoer, and it just, first of all, he sits down. So the theater I went to, it's one of those ones that has reclining seats,
of course,
which is super nice.
Great, it's great feature. Did you go to the one closest to you?
I went to the one closest to Jay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I sat because they were the only ones that had Godzilla -1.
Right. Oh, weird. I was going to ask you about that a little bit, but I'll let you finish your story first.
So reclining seats, and the way that they're built, they're kind of like 2-man units.
Yeah, you're kind of that theater. They're like it's kind of set up to be like a date type thing, like where you're they're 2-person pods kind of.
There is an arm.
It is like a love seat,
is an arm, but you can lift it up and lower it. Yeah. So I had it down.
So you're kind of like
this
guy.
No, I'm like great. Okay, when the movie starts and nobody sits beside me, I can put my jacket over there.
Fantastic.
I can sprawl out.
Perfect.
Great. No, some guy comes. And before he even sits down, he like reclines the chair back, and like lifts the leg rest up.
Yeah.
Before he even sits down.
Also, how do you get in the chair then? That's super awkward.
Right?
That's...
So now he crawls in like we're sharing a bed.
Why would you do that?
And then he whips out a light novel and starts reading it.
Was this Jay Garridian?
Damn
it was not Jay Garridian.
I was about to say, yeah, I went to a movie. I went to Godzilla -1 yesterday, and
so he's reading it.
I got this like weird look from this guy.
He wouldn't cuddle me
while I was like talking to myself, and like, what the heck, man? Like, I'm talking to myself. I'm allowed to do this.
Can't you see I'm talking here?
Yeah.
Can't you see I'm talking to myself?
Yeah. And like, look, if I want to read my light novels, I can read whatever the hell I want. The movie hasn't started yet.
Important clarification here. This is gonna really change this is gonna help me picture this gentleman. What light novel was he reading?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell
pick it
what
out.
it was.
What did it look like? What was your guess?
Man, I don't even know. To be honest, I'm just picturing it as a light novel. I don't even know if it was a light novel. He was reading something, but based on his appearance,
light novel's a faith guess. Yeah.
Did he have a fedora?
He was one of those kind of guys. Yeah. One of those milady dudes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Just completely ragging on our main demographic here.
Yeah. Ragging on literally the three of us as we wear a fedora. I have one just over there. It's
we take it off. Just to look cool.
I'm literally known on this podcast for being the light novel guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's reading his light novel through the previews, and he puts it down when the movie actually starts. Okay, fine, whatever. You're a weirdo. It's all good, but like. There's these scenes where like a character is kind of being a little bit, antagonistic towards the main character. Okay. And my guy beside me is like I can hear him. It's like honestly, shut up. You're ruining this movie for me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then to top it off, okay, well, two more things. Next, pulls out his bag of popcorn, which I think might have been a pillowcase full of popcorn, because that guy did not stop eating popcorn.
Hold on a second.
That was a bottomless bag of popcorn.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
You said he pulled out his bag of popcorn?
Yeah, I don't know where it came from.
Every time I've ever got popcorn from the movie theater, it's like an overflowing sack of popcorn.
Yeah, well,
it's like there's no way to not have that. Like, you're barely containing it as it is. How could he pull it out?
Unless
where
he
could he
snuck it in, or
guy
something.
had
store it.
Doraemon's bag of popcorn. It was just bottomless.
Good Lord.
And I'm like, will you ever get to the bottom of this bag of popcorn? Mercifully he finds it, or he was just like done with his popcorn, and then he starts sucking on his drink, doing the whole like
a full on let me have a sip.
Like, your drink's empty, bro. Stop. Stop. There's nothing in there. You're not gonna find more drink by slurping it through your straw. It's empty. You're done.
You gotta get to the bottom of it.
He got to the bottom of it.
Okay. Two important. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. And then he fell asleep.
In the movie?
Was he in snoring?
The movie?
Well, he did.
Snoring beside me. I wanted to get up and be like, go find like a staff member and be like, this guy is asleep, snoring through this movie. And I just wanted to see the new Godzilla movie and have a good time. It was a good movie. It was a good movie.
How did this happen to you? This is like literally the worst movie going experience I've ever heard.
And then the guy like turns to me at the end. He's like, "It's pretty good." It's like, I gotta put my jacket on, and I'm like, just so everybody knows, I'm not with this guy. Like, I have to make a statement. Like, out. Not with him.
Yeah. So you bring me to one of my questions I wanted to ask, because this is kind of relevant to what your story here. Was it like a packed theater? Like, was the option okay? Because this is like a weird movie, so I have no idea how popular this movie.
Yeah, it's a limited release. It's really weird. Like the main movie theaters up here in Canada are Cineplex. It's kind of like the AMC.
AMC.
Yeah, it's pretty much a direct equivalent.
But there's no showings of Godzilla -1 by that movie theater in our city.
Yeah,
period.
Weird. Yeah.
So the like B Team movie theater had it.
They're
But
local. Yeah.
They're more local, and I like them. Like
They're better. Honestly, they're better. I agree.
They're kind of like the premier movie going experience. Like all of their seats
Except for
are
that
all
one
that,
guy.
except for that one guy.
Yeah, but they've had
all-
like the reclining full, like basically sofa seats for like years.
Yeah. And all of their seats are like that. Like you don't have to pay like an upgrade to go and sit in them.
Yeah.
At the expense of that, though, there's much less seats in the theater. So less seats in the theater, limited showing. It was pretty well packed. Yeah.
I think there's also like less theaters in that theater as well. Like it's just a smaller play. And I mean, it's in a mall.
Yeah.
Right?
It's in a mall too.
It's got its downsides for sure. But
the sound was great. I thought about that too. Like, oh, great sound system. So
you know what? Sound makes a huge
you.
difference. That's one thing I like about the movies. Good sound system.
Good sound system.
I honestly
but I was going to ask, like, oh, why wouldn't you move? But I guess if it's a packed theater, then option.
Yeah. I wouldn't
Jake,
move.
what were you going to ask?
I honestly haven't been to that theater in a while. Like I walk by it all the time, and I'm like,
well,
I should
go
really
to the
go to a
bookstore
movie
attached
here.
to it often.
Yeah.
No,
But, like,
if you can go there. Like I was thinking, there's that new Ghibli film that's coming out soon. I thought it'd be nice for the three of us to go. I mean, Mike, you can bring your wife, I guess, if you want.
Yeah, if she's not working. But that one I think is available in the IMAX format as well. That might be cool too.
Yeah, I mean, I like IMAX, but I don't think you need to see an animated movie in IMAX.
No, but how often do you get to see an animated movie in IMAX?
Yeah, that's
essentially
true.
never,
That's true.
right?
We'll talk about this off air. We do have to get to a review, though. I just wanted to vent a little bit.
Also, I wanted to. What are your thoughts on the movie? Like the actual? Quick.
It was a good movie. It was a bit less like I'm a fan of Shin Godzilla. Of course,
yes, me too.
Hideaki Anno is the director and the writer of that. I mean, Evangelion influences all around.
It's the only Godzilla movie where I actually felt like scared of Godzilla, which I really appreciate.
Well, Godzilla in this one is very intimidating as well. Like he's a scary Godzilla. I just like Shin Godzilla more because it's like it's realistically funny, like the ineptitude of the government up to the point of Godzilla. Yeah. So like I feel like there's more there. There's more meat on those bones. But this is more just a like, hey, Godzilla's coming, and Godzilla is like almost purposely destroying the city. Like he's just stomping around, flipping his tail through buildings and stuff.
And what kind of Godzilla is he? Is he like a classic, like basically upright Tyrannosaurus Godzilla, or is he more of a Shin Godzilla, where he's basically a big lizard?
He's big upright Godzilla. Well, the thing with Shin Godzilla, right, is he's basically just a cancerous tumor. Like he's just in constant pain.
Well, yeah, he's like he's literally like if you took an iguana and just kept like growing it like a tumor, right?
Oh no, you're reminding people of 1998 Godzilla.
I love that movie. That's neither here nor there.
Honestly, the 98 Godzilla, if you just took the name Godzilla off of it and it was just a generic monster movie.
Yeah, no, it's a great movie.
It's not as bad.
It's not really a Godzilla movie.
It's just the fact that it's Godzilla that people are like,
Matthew Broderick or whatever. Is it Matthew Broderick in there?
Matthew Broderick,
Killed it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fine movie.
So I do know, like, the only real thing I know about Godzilla movies, and I've only seen the 2014 one, is that
the American one?
The American one, yeah.
That's a good one too. I really like that Godzilla movie. I'm not like a huge Godzilla guy either, but go ahead.
It sounds like you are.
I mean, I like Godzilla. I've never gone back and like watched old ones.
I don't think you need to. Yeah.
Other than the first one. Like I have the original one.
Yeah.
Okay, Jay, sorry. Go ahead.
But anyway, and like after watching that, I remember reading that like he's in various films, he's either portrayed as like the hero or the villain.
Yeah.
In this one, which
villain.
Oh, 2014 Godzilla was good. Yes, I know which one that is.
Yeah, that was the one
in the new that's in the new what do you call it?
The Monsterverse.
The
Monsterverse,
yeah.
The same universe as Godzilla versus Kong, I believe.
Yes,
I just watched that too. Godzilla versus Kong. What a ride. That's a fun
Honestly,
movie.
yeah, they're great movies. They're all fun. Yeah.
Are we allowed to spoil that movie? Because like I had a prediction about it before the movie came out, and then I heard
it's been out for, when did that come out? Like 3 years ago?
The plot really matters for that movie either.
Well, I mean, there is a big spoiler at the end.
Skip ahead 25 seconds.
Yeah. Jay, what was your big prediction?
So like I predicted like, Godzilla would win because like obviously Japan would never let Godzilla lose, because like he's their icon, which I found out after I made that prediction that Godzilla and Kong have fought before and Godzilla lost in that one, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway,
this was their second showing. Let's be
showing.
real here. Godzilla is a giant lizard with
that
claws.
can breathe fire.
He's armored and he can shoot basically a nuclear beam out of his mouth.
Yeah,
and King Kong is a big monkey.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Return to monkey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of that new MonsterVerse show that just came out too, actually?
Mm-hmm.
While we're on the topic.
Yeah, Monarch something.
Operation Monarch or something.
Yeah, something like
yes.
that.
Monarch.
Yeah.
Apparently it's pretty good. I've heard good things, actually.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I saw where Godzilla's like standing in front of a nuclear bomb and they just blow it up in his face.
That's awesome. I love how like over the top and insane like these MonsterVerse movies are. They're fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are
they the greatest movies of all time?
They're pretty fun. Shin Godzilla is really good. But excellent work. We just read an excellent manga.
The best manga.
The best.
Arguably the best manga of all time in Kagurabachi, which I believe was Michael's suggestion.
It was.
So, Mike, I know you've spent a long time studying this work. You've really delved into it. I would like you to explain to us the plot of Kagurabachi.
Well,
okay, good. I didn't get the name.
You got it right that time. Yeah.
I
I am almost like, so the elephant in the room that Cole's kind of alluding to here is I've had a kind of a crazy week, and specifically today was kind of a crazy day, and I completely forgot to read this. So I made my co-host here sit and watch me read all 11 chapters of it. And boy, was it a blast. Basically the plot, from what I can tell, this is kind of a hard one to summarize the plot. I think it's kind of
because it's still coming out, right?
It's just starting out.
It literally just started like 11 weeks ago. So I mean,
but if we were to say to review this in like a year, we probably would say, oh yeah, you're reading the first 11 chapters anyway, so this is probably what we'd get.
Right.
Yeah.
Essentially, this guy Chihiro he's kind of like spending his days training under his like famous swordsmith father. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to become a great swordsmaker himself. And then his dad and him are like, oh, yeah, let's do that for sure. And then it doesn't work out because his dad bites the dust pretty quick. And then basically, like, it's like your very typical shonen fare, I would say. Like, it's just like a classic, like, guy has superpowers, guy has a cool look, guy's got a sword, guy's fighting bad guys who kind of have cool abilities. And the action panels are sweet. Guy does awesome things, and that's basically the manga in a nutshell, I would say. I know the reason I suggested this for us to review is because before even chapter 1 reviewed, if people are not as versed and steeped in internet culture as myself, the memes were out because they put out a picture of this guy, and people instantly were like, this is the greatest manga of all time. And like it lives up to the hype 100%. It's the best thing I've ever read.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, but like there's an anime trailer for this that someone produced and released before chapter 2 came out. Like it's hilarious. Like,
all right. Well, I think we should predict each other's thoughts.
Yes.
And I'll go first. I really, the thing is, like, going into this one and having read it, I think that you both think this is the greatest manga of all time, and that you both love it, and that's what I think. Yeah, Mike, what do you think?
Well, like, I know why you might think that, honestly. And after reading Kagurabachi not but 30 minutes ago for 20 minutes, I kind of just get this impression from the way that you guys were just discussing it while I was reading it, that you guys think it's the greatest manga of all time.
Yeah. Okay. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, I have this wild opinion, very different from the both of you, that all three of us think it's the greatest manga of all time.
Okay. Well, AniList would say it's the number 10 most highest rated manga of 2023 and the number 253rd most of all time. For what it's
they're
worth.
all wrong.
Yeah.
And I think they're wrong. Yes.
I think they're wrong. I think it should be number 1.
It should be number 1 of all time. Monster, get out of here.
Okay,
Punpun, get
meme
out of here.
lords.
Pluto, get out of here.
Let's stop with the memeing.
Yeah, memes aside, let's be serious reviewers.
Let's be serious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is the greatest manga of all time.
This is the greatest manga of all time. Who is this manga for?
Who's this manga for?
Who was this written for? Was this written for the guy who is sitting beside me in Godzilla -1? Or was this written for the other guy on the other side of me with his girlfriend? You know, cool dude on one side, even cooler dude on the other. And the coolest guy in the middle. Who is this written for?
Exactly. That was off topic.
Listen, I'm shook.
I think
shooketh. He is shooketh.
The thing that I was thinking while I was reading this is very similar to Katanagatari.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen or read that, just
not.
like about like these like powerful swords, like these like mystical swords ish.
Okay.
And like the main character kind of going after all the holders of these special swords.
Okay.
And then
the
other one was just kind of something like Demon Slayer, the Dark Trio. If you like that, then you'll probably get a little bit of a kick out of this.
See, that's where I was going to go with it. I really got Demon Slayer vibes from it. It was like, to me, I think the author is heavily inspired by Demon Slayer, just by like the kind of the art style and like the way that stuff works in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like if you took Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen and maybe a little bit of Bleach and like made them kith. That's kind of like how I feel
a little
about
bit of
it.
Chainsaw Man in the paneling.
I was gonna say
a little bit of Chainsaw Man too.
A little bit. Okay, no, Chainsaw Man. I feel like this manga wants to be Chainsaw Man so bad.
That's kind of where I was cool.
Yeah.
I think like this wanted to be the next Chainsaw Man, especially from like the first chapter. Like,
well, just with the whole like government, like there's these government sanctioned
guys in suits.
Yeah, government sanctioned sorcerers or whatever. I don't know. I was reading one fan translation of it where they kept calling them necromancers, and I'm like, no, a necromancer is a specific type of sorcerer. You can't just call a sorcerer a necromancer. They took it too far. They lost the plot. And I found another one where they just called them sorcerers. Listen, I'm venting today.
No, let her rip, buddy. We're a little fired up today. We've had some crazy days. You guys had to sit and watch me read this, so yeah, let her rip. All memes aside, I don't think this is a bad manga. It definitely, like, everybody knows it definitely doesn't deserve the title of greatest of all time. It's a meme, right?
It's a meme. Yeah. Listen,
it's not going bad off by any stretch. I don't say.
Going off what Mike said, I came into this with the biggest hate on I've ever had. I'm like, I'm going to hate this. I'm drinking my haterade. I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end, I'm like, can't hate, man. Like, hey.
It's pretty likable, honestly.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I think it could use some room for improvement. And like,
but I mean, it's only 11 chapters.
Yeah.
11.
At the same time, like, I totally understand why it's not as popular in Japan as it is here. Because like,
the meme.
But at the same time, like, it's like in the bottom of the rankings in Japan right now, and like not like bottom, but like bottom low. Like group.
It's generic.
That is very generic about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's as I was reading it, I was kind of like, this feels like essentially something I've read. Like, I feel like I've read this before.
Yeah.
It's so generic that it kind of feels almost deja vu-y.
It's the word shonen just kind of in a story.
Honestly, it's
shonen, but with italics, and those italics have goldfish coming off of them.
Yeah,
I will say I do like that. Like I don't know. I like the concept of like these powers that these swords have being like personified in like these different things. Like the fish. That's such a weird, unique thing. Like the last thing you would think of in like a shonen action romp is like goldfish, but it's like it's a cool,
kind of works,
cool
and
visual.
Then like he has like different powers, and each power is kind of named after like a color. Like he'll say like red or black, and like they do different things. Like it's very interesting to say the least.
There is cool things here, and I would be interested to see how it proceeds.
Sure.
Yeah, it could be canceled in a year, or it could be going for like another 200 chapters. I could see it going either way, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jay said something about the rankings and that kind of ultimately determines what happens, but
yeah.
I don't see a reason to really hate on this. I don't see if anything, its worst crime it commits is just being kind of generic, honestly.
Yeah, I think that like at the moment there's probably like worse stuff in the magazine that would probably be dropped first.
Yeah.
What magazine is this?
Shonen Jump.
It is Jump?
Like actual Jump, yeah.
Like weekly Shonen Jump, yeah.
If it was in any other magazine, it probably would not be in danger of getting dropped, but Shonen Jump is Shonen Jump for a reason.
Yeah,
right?
The most cutthroat magazine in Japan, so I mean...
Well, they can be. I mean, they're going to sell.
They kind of have to be, right?
Yeah.
See, the reason I ask, though, is Mike kind of alluded to it. Like, if this was in any other magazine, they're selling like hotcakes right now, specifically to Western audiences.
For sure.
And that would be enough of an incentive for kind of the C rank manga magazines to keep it. But yeah, Shonen Jump, I mean, hey, like they're going to sell over here regardless, and especially in Japan regardless.
I will say one thing that I think this does well too is it does have, other than like the cool powers and cool like idea with the swords and all that, is the character designs are kind of good too. Like I thought all the characters kind of had a cool design to them.
The character designs I was okay with. The art in and of itself, I thought was probably a weak point.
It was a little rough, but at the same time, like this is redone for the graphic novels.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
that's true.
It could have been done it could have just been done like for the weekly basis and then redone for the graphic novel version, which we haven't seen yet. So while I do agree that the art could be better, I think if it were, when it is released as a graphic novel, it probably will be better.
Yeah, and I don't really think the art, like, I agree that it's kind of a weaker point of this, but I don't think it's like offensively bad by any stretch.
It's
like
not offensively bad. I mean,
I would say even the cool, like, I kind of chuckled every time it happened, but every time I'm going to call him Kagurabachi, but his name's Chihiro or whatever. But every time that Kagurabachi would Kagurabachi something like really crazy, like I think he sliced a car in half at one point. Maybe maybe is that ringing a bell to you guys? I
remember there was like a car really that kind of like flipped over him or something. Like it was kind of like super John Wick action.
Yeah, the action shots were good. Yeah,
that's a good parallel, Jay. John Wick, actually.
The action shots were good.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Sakamoto Days with like how it portrays its action scenes. Like, I'm not here to say that Sakamoto Days is the best thing I've ever read, but like I do understand the love for it because of how its action is portrayed.
And I will say too that like action in manga, it always makes me kind of scratch my head a little bit because I'm always like trying to figure out, okay, what's going on a little bit with action in manga. And this one, I didn't really have too much trouble following the action. Like they did a good job paneling it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I think this one especially, and I think this is one of the places where I draw a comparison to Chainsaw Man is like, it seems like he took a lot of inspiration of like Fujimoto's love for kind of that storyboard style paneling, where it like looks like it could be just a storyboard for an anime.
Okay. Yeah, I kept thinking too, I guess we should shout out the author, Takeru Hokazono. I kept thinking too, as I was reading it, that yeah, I feel like it would translate almost in the way like Demon Slayer, the manga was not a huge hit until it got animated. I feel like with the right adaptation, this could be a pretty good anime, actually. Like it kind of has the bones of a good anime.
I could see this being a good anime. Again, like just imagine those like those fish.
Yeah.
Like animated.
It could be good, actually. Like I could see it.
On that idea, just for little funsies, which studio would you like to see? And I mean, MAPPA would probably be the obvious one.
MAPPA's the obvious choice. Yeah. Just because it's got those like dark shonen.
Yeah, it kind of has that Jujutsu Kaisen feel to it. So I mean, that kind of makes sense. MAPPA. But if you were to exclude MAPPA, give like your wild, bold take.
Madhouse, I feel like, would do a good job with this one too.
Yeah, I don't know if they would do it is the problem. Oh, you know what would
Madhouse
be good
is, like,
actually?
Super.
You know what
What's
would be
that?
a good one? David Productions.
David Productions would be pretty good. I was gonna say Bones.
Or Bones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I'll
think
just
Map
say-
is the right answer though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
say Shaft because
Yeah, just cause. Yeah.
I mean, Shaft
Yeah.
would probably honestly do a pretty good job with it too. Don't sell it too short.
The bones are here. Like the roots of like a good anime are definitely here. Then I just need to make those goldfish come out of the sword.
I think it kind of wholeheartedly depends on how generic it stays throughout its long run. Because like it could set itself apart much later. And that's kind of an argument that a lot of people make, is that like a lot of the stuff that gets axed in Jump could have been good if it kept going, but it just didn't get that chance.
Yeah,
no, it makes sense.
This one, I like the characters itself. Well, I like one character specifically,
Which
and
one?
I'm like concerned about their well-being, and I want to make sure that they're okay.
Is it the one that's named after a certain Gundam protagonist?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
yeah, I know. I'm very concerned too because where we ended.
Get her.
On chapter 11 ended on a very dark note, and also kind of a cool note because it kind of introduced what seems to be like the gang, like the team. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like we're getting like a squad, and they all like seem interesting. So
now, what I would like to see this manga do, honestly, if it can kind of keep that momentum up where it's left off as of chapter 11, and who knows, maybe chapter 12 it drops the ball. If it ends up getting axed, I hope that the mangaka realizes that it has a following in the West, and that they continue to self-publish, so to speak.
Well, I think that like if it does get axed, he still has his editor and he's still with Jump. So like he'd just be working with the editor on his next work rather than.
Or it would end up like, hasn't there been things that have been cut from Shonen Jump and just been like Jump Plus exclusive?
Not really. Like most of the Jump Plus stuff, will get like maybe like one extra chapter, or like if it moves to
like
it's kind of like a bonus thing, or like it'll be like it's moving there because it has a better fit, either because of the author's health or because of like the subject matter. But most of the time when something's axed, it's kind of like that's it, that's all, folks, kind of thing.
And that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you guys would like to maybe mention about this terrific, great manga before we move into our next segment?
I guess for final thoughts, it just kind of like this manga definitely has potential, but it needs time to kind of hook me any further than it kind of already has.
I'm surprised, Jay, actually. I know you had actually read this before I nominated it as a review. I'm actually surprised that you had been keeping up with it a little bit. It just doesn't seem like your cup of tea.
Honestly, when new Shonen Jump stuff comes out, I always give at least the first chapter a try.
Okay.
And like if
but the first chapter 11 chapters is
it kind of depends. Like the first chapter, my thoughts on it were kind of like, it's not bad enough that I'm going to drop it, but it's not great enough that like I'm super jazzed about it or anything, was my initial first reaction. And that kind of still holds.
If I had to give my kind of final thoughts, I would say that it's worth checking out. I think there's definitely better things to read than this. Like if you haven't read it, like if you're like Jay and you've read everything in Shonen Jump and then almost everything else that exists, this is definitely worth your time. Like you're not going to waste your time by reading this one. But if you're more like me, who's only read like not even that many mangas, probably like 50 total mangas in my life, like it's going to seem pretty mid to you, I would say.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone's going to really read it and be terribly upset that they did. I don't think you're going to feel like you wasted your time. And I'm kind of curious. I'm probably going to keep up with it. I'm kind of curious to see where it goes from here, honestly.
Yeah. Just going off of Mike's last thought there, I'm more intrigued as the story goes on, and I will be watching this I will be watching this manga's progress with great interest, just to see where it goes. I'm not sold on it per se, but I feel like there's something there that it's got
a spark for sure. It's definitely got a little juice somewhere in it, I would say.
And maybe if it's just until the girl who must be protected at all costs is protected, then
she's great.
Yeah, best girl in that for sure for me. I mean, there's only like 5 characters at this point in the manga, so that's why I kind of skipped the.
And they literally just introduced like 5 in chapter 11, which is the like most recent chapter as of
they
recording.
Introduced who I think, and honestly, it could just be a kind of a more ambiguously gendered person who I think is the 3rd female character.
I think, yeah, it's hard to tell.
There up until chapter 11, there was two females in the whole manga. The best boy and best girl would kind of be a waste of a time at this point.
I think it's worth saying that we're in the middle of like a dark supernatural boon right now, at least when it comes to shonen.
Oh, absolutely.
So like if that's your vibe, I think like you'd probably enjoy this as kind of like a passing enjoyment, but I don't think it would like change your worldview or anything.
No.
Yeah, the memes are memes for a reason, but I don't think it's. I when I was reading it, I kept waiting for it to get bad, and it kind of just didn't. And it's
just kind of a constant simmering.
Yeah, the pot is simmering, and let's see if it boils at some point here.
That being said, this is obviously protagonist from me.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I don't know if I can really give it anything other than a protagonist. Jay?
Yeah, Jay?
If we were going memes, I'd say protagonist.
What are you talking about?
But like, realistically, I'd have to give it a background character.
Oh, this is the one Jay is a realist on. Okay.
Yeah, background character.
That's a real answer. That's a real answer. Yeah. But it's actually protagonist.
It's actually protagonist.
But like for the memes, it's protagonist.
Yeah.
For the memes. Let's let me just quickly try something here.
It's time for the mailbag.
I think that's long enough.
That's enough time.
Got to do this the old-fashioned way here. If you want to send us a mailbag question, you can send that over to us at our website, AniProPod.com, or on our Discord. We have 2 mailbag questions. The first one here is not a priority patron mailbag, but I feel like it would be we'd be remiss if we didn't read this one because it is sent to us by a very special someone. They want to know, what are some mistakes you 3 goofy goobers have said on the podcast that you cringe to think about? And that's from Mike on Discord.
Hi, it's me. It's me.
So what are some things that we have said that we cringe at?
When I sent this in, I didn't have anything in my brain at the moment, but like the question came to me and I'm like, oh, that's too good of a question to not get your thoughts on the pod. Mm-hmm. Definitely just like when I listen back, because I have to like listen to the whole episode to like get all the timestamps and stuff. I'll catch like the little stupid mistakes that we make that are kind of like inconsequential in hindsight.
Yeah.
But like, I know someone's listening to it and they're like, you idiot, it's Kagurabachi, not Kaguramachi. You know, or stuff like that, or like I'll mix up
her
character
name's
names
not
and stuff.
Beaufry.
Yeah. That's a good one actually.
Yeah. No, one that I even called me and Mike out on the Discord was when Mike and I were confidently calling Toru from Dragon Maid Kobayashi.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're just like, yeah, you know, Elba Kobayashi. And like, you idiots.
You morons.
You absolute idiots. You should be taken off of this platform. This should be the Jay Guardian show. I quit the
podcast. My big regret is talking. Just like on this podcast at all.
Fair.
Just beginning. Yeah.
Like every time, honestly though, like, and I know that this is just like imposter syndrome, but like every time I hear myself back talking, I'm like, shut up, just shut up. Gritting my teeth, normal. And I'm like,
I think that's normal. Well, honestly, like, I think that's normal. I think I have become immune to it because I actually listen to our podcast.
Yeah,
I'll put it on and I will listen to it while I'm driving.
Well, I mean,
I can just picture Cole driving along and he's like, I'm hilarious.
No, sometimes I do laugh at myself.
No, what did I laugh? I had a good laugh a couple of weeks ago when we started the second half of the episode, and for some reason I was just like, yeah. It was just like you guys were just like, what are you doing, basically? Yeah. And I had a good laugh editing that one.
Yeah, that's good. No, I do go back and listen, and I don't know, maybe that's a good thing to do to kind of.
No, I've been told that by people that you need to listen to the podcast like your own. You have to consume your own material so you can see what you're doing good and wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My issue is just constantly saying like. I gotta try.
Yeah.
Filler words. Yeah.
You gotta put in like the effort to like not like say like
or
the
yeah.
The
oh, now I'm self-conscious
like
the whole
words,
episode. The one that always gets me too is I'll notice that I go through mental like phases where I'll just say certain words a lot. Like it'll be like and it's always like some random word. I'll say like philandering a lot for some reason. And then just like for the next couple weeks, I'll keep using philandering. And then every time, then it gets to the point where I'm like, stop saying that. You keep saying, stop saying philandering, you philandering anus.
Anyway, I think that's enough of us just poo-pooing on ourselves.
Yes.
We got another one here. This one is from, I forgot to get the name. Hold on. Oh no, it's from Super Mexi. This one is a patron priority mailbag. Wee woo. This one's funny because I think this was more of a question for the listeners in our Discord as well. Which of the three hosts would be the three girls in Kazuma's party from Konosuba?
So basically, who's Megumin, who's Aqua, and who's Darkness?
Yeah. So his picks were Cole is Darkness, Mike is Aqua, and Jay is Megumin. And I'll read some of the other ones.
Read them first. Yeah,
there's only one other one actually, and that was from Bunny. And he said Cole Darkness, Mike Megumin, Jay Aqua. And I really want to know why I am Darkness. This is
universally seen as Darkness.
The funny thing is, as you were reading the question, and when I read this in the Discord, the only one I was 100% certain on was that Cole was Darkness.
Please enlighten me.
You just got that like self-masochistic tendency, I guess.
I mean,
I don't know.
The amount of times that you mentioned like shoving things up your butt or liking like step on me energy.
Step on me energy,
like that's very M energy.
I don't see it. I don't get it.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah. But no, you're the most blonde of us too.
Okay,
that's the real answer.
Fair.
Yeah,
that's
there you
fair.
Go. Now Cole's found us out. Yeah,
that's fair. I mean, Jay strikes me as a Megumin type for sure.
I was gonna say I feel like Mexi might have nailed it because I think Jay is more Megumin just because he's edgier. I think.
Yeah,
and he's a little more silly than me, I would say as well.
And I mean, Megumin best girl, Jay best girl. I mean,
it's true. Jay best girl. Yeah.
Jay best girl on the pod.
Yeah. And then I think Aqua's the dumbest of them, and I feel like I'm the dumbest of the three of us for sure.
It's true.
I'm like, and I'm also like just kind of the happy idiot of the podcast, and that's kind of Aqua's role as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, but I was gonna say, and like you're the messiest drunk, but that's not true. I am.
Yes. You know what? I've never seen Jay like hammered. So to be decided. TBD.
TBD. To reveal my secrets here, I'm a tired drunk. When I get really drunk, I just get sleepy.
Jay comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
CP boy.
And then Cole does definitely. He's like your standard drunk, and then I've been told before that I am essentially the same.
Yeah, Mike doesn't change when he's drunk. Yeah, it's funny. I forgot to give you guys some hints for what manga we're going to be reviewing next.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So I'll do that now before we go into the break. So what I wanted to do when I picked this manga out, and it's really only going to be one hint for you guys, it is going to be adapted in the upcoming winter 2024 season. Okay. It's, I don't know where it's published. I don't know anything about anything. All I know is that it has an anime that's coming out soon. It has, one of its tags is 83% for nudity. So this one will be fun to read. It's time to get cultured, boys. So I'll reveal that in the second half. But for now, let's go to break. Welcome back to the Anime Protagonist Podcast. Thank you for sitting through that break. We know it was hard going through about 30 seconds without hearing our lovely voices, but we're back.
Honestly, I missed us. I missed us during that break.
Me too. It was good music, though.
But yeah, no, honestly, whoever picks that music, yeah.
I was about to say, rate that music in the comments, 1 to 10. 1 to 10.
Give it a protagonist to antagonist. And keep those antagonists coming.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm hitting the Mitch McConnell.
I was like, is there a drop coming? What's happening right now?
Did Cole just kind of zone out into space?
No, sometimes when you're on the mic and you don't want to just belch right into the mic.
Oh, yeah. We're gassy boys today.
It's keeping it down, and then you guys called me out. You guys called me out.
It's the nature. It's what happens. If we didn't we wouldn't be doing our job. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's fair. So I went and saw Godzilla -1, and let me tell you guys, if you sit in a movie theater by yourself, you got to be quiet, okay? Let me tell you about my epic journey that I went through.
This feels deja vu-y. Honestly, though, if you're in a movie theater, just be quiet.
Just be quiet. Shut your phone off.
Okay. Shut your phone off.
Oh my God.
That drives me nuts.
Let me talk about people on their phone during a movie. Why are you at a movie? Why are you at a movie if you're going to be on your phone the entire time? What are you watching? What are you paying money for?
You know what? Yep. I'll give people a pass if it's weeks after the movie came out. Then I'm fine. I'm more fine with it.
It's like an empty theater. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're watching the movie 6 weeks after it came out, whatever. But if it's
sit in the back, then.
Yeah.
If
sit in the back, if you're going to be on your phone.
In the middle of the theater, where half the theater would see you with your phone kind of going off.
Because on the one hand, Mike's right, but on the other hand, people pay their money to come in here and watch the movie, and your bright ass screen in front of them. Yeah, sit in the back at least.
I've heard that since the whole pandemic thing, that kind of just people's theater going skills have declined, skills in public have just gone down a little bit.
I think social etiquette's just kind of gone down.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, and I know I'm my co-hosts here know I'm I'm a very particular media ingester. Everybody's got to be quiet while I watch something.
Yeah, that's the thing is we always try to do watch parties and stuff with Cole, and he's like, listen, you're gonna talk to me. That can't happen.
Yeah. I need to pay attention.
This 100 Girlfriends anime that we're watching, it is cinema, and I must absorb every detail that is available to me on the screen, especially with my blue light glasses.
I'm honestly still flabbergasted that you haven't watched it yet, Cole. It's right up your alley.
Yeah.
But
Well, this is a great way to get him to watch it, is by telling him to watch it, as we discussed on the podcast.
If we said it sucked and he wouldn't like it, then
probably still wouldn't watch it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you can keep dreaming there, bud. So are you happy that it was like adapted into an anime?
Oh, 100%.
100% for 100 Girlfriends, because it was previously a manga that was adapted.
Actually.
Wow, what a
nice segue. Yeah.
What a nice segue that wasn't clunky at all.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Landed it.
Mike begged me and Jay to go first. He said, just make sure that I go first.
Yes. And what are we talking about?
We're just talking about some manga or light novels that we've read that we think would be cool, make cool anime. And I mean, like, hey, like, pitch it to me, you know, what studio do you want to do it? What, you know, make me want to see this anime in animated format.
That's impossible. As literally just previously stated.
It can't be done.
Yeah.
But I want you to try.
And you guys put a stipulation on this that really, really drastically cuts down on the number of qualifying manga that I've read. So I begged you. I said, I beg and please let me go first at least, because I've only read like 6 manga in my life.
Yeah. No.
And
anyway, so Jay, you're going to go first. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Saying you can go first.
So I'm going to take all the manga Mike's read and say all of them.
Okay. Let her rip.
Dorohedoro.
Dorohedoro, which
already has an
anime.
Demon Slayer.
I haven't read a single volume of Demon Slayer somehow.
Really?
I'm anime only for it. I kind of, in my opinion, the anime is so good that I kind of am just good just riding that. You know what I mean?
Just riding that high. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this little known manga.
My preference for thing is anime. So yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen, yes. Just watched the last 2 episodes before we recorded too, and they were sad.
Yeah.
No, I'll go first. I'll just start us off here with an anime or a manga that I think would be adapted well. And there's going to be a kind of a running theme with the ones I'm going with. And this is going to be the one that kind of breaks the mold for the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yotsuba and.
Oh, Mike, I hate you.
This is why I had to go first. Because there's honestly, out of my list, it's pretty slim pickings for ones that do not have any anime ties at all. And somehow this one has no anime ties at all, even though it would make a perfectly delightful little anime.
It would be so sweet and cute and nice. I agree, Michael.
Yes. The only thing I fear for this one to be adapted is there was an anime a couple seasons ago that Jay got me hyped on. It was the manga I read 3 volumes of it before the anime was made. It was announced that it was going to be coming, and that's Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie. And that's because it is very like episodic and kind of disjointed. And they kind of fixed it a little bit in the anime by making it a little more of a through storyline. But it kind of, when in an anime, like I find that if it's too disjointed like that, it might have a hard time keeping your attention a little bit.
I think Yotsuba End would work great as shorts.
Yeah.
The episodes were like 10 minutes, 5 minutes long with like good production quality done by like a good studio. I think.
What studio would you go with it? Also, Jay, have you read any Yotsuba End? I actually don't know.
I haven't. Every time I look at it, it just like doesn't look like it would be up my alley.
No, I don't know that it would. I don't. Yeah, I could see it'd have to be like a cutesy studio. Honestly, you know what studio? What's the studio that I always think of Akebi Sailor uniform?
Cloverworks.
Cloverworks. For some reason, Cloverworks comes to mind, or KyoAni.
I was thinking like
I was going to say KyoAni.
They're a little too detailed.
Thinking like Doga Kobo even.
Yeah, that would probably be the real answer.
Yeah.
I mean, like KyoAni's kind of the like the answer.
I feel like they wouldn't do it for what it's worth.
Like, I don't know if they did it as shorts. Like, I feel like that like very pretty art style would work well for a show about a little girl just doing her little girl stuff.
Kind of on topic, the mangaka also did Azumanga Daioh, right?
Yeah.
And that was adapted by JC Staff, for what it's worth. But that's also like from 2002, so I don't know if that even counts.
I think Jay's right. I feel like that's probably the most like
likely.
I don't know, the most logical answer. I feel like they're not too over the top, but they also have like a good job in making anime like this, similar to
the studio that did Barakamon, Kinema Citrus. I feel like that's a very similar vibe. I could see that. I don't know, kind of like when we were doing our thing, our SAO tournament, and how maybe the studio doesn't want two similar properties. I could see that playing a role with them not wanting to do it. But I do think, like you said, the shorts role for an anime adaptation of Yotsuba End would be good. I could see full episodes, but it couldn't be just a straight adaptation. It'd have to be kind of curated, I think, a bit.
Right. And that's what I mean about the shorts. Like if it's the shorts, you can kind of leave it a bit more open, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like that kind of like thing that comes on in between shows that is just kind of like a little breather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm realizing now that maybe we should summarize these manga, because by definition, by not having an anime, they're a little more obscure, even though these are probably popular. But basically Yotsuba End is the story of this like cute little weird, like they say several times that she's very weird, but she's like living with her like adopted dad. And it's basically just a story of, it's not even really a story, but it's just kind of like little episodic fun bits about this dad raising this girl who's just like kind of just a loose cannon, but in like a cute and fun way. It's like honestly just pure sweet and wholesome, and it's just great. And the one thing I really enjoy about it is that I feel like it does a good job of capturing what like that childhood spirit. Like I always say this, like My Neighbor Totoro is my favorite Ghibli movie probably, because it does such a good job of capturing what it's like to be like a 6-year-old, that it takes you back a little bit and you just kind of like, you feel warm and fuzzy inside. And that's how I feel reading this. Oh man, I need to watch Totoro again. Yeah.
No, and like this one too, it's got a great kind of supporting cast as well.
Yes.
Like it's not just the little girl, like it's also like the neighbors who all like they all think she's like the cutest, sweetest little girl in the world. And it's just if you want your heart to just grow three sizes that day, just go read Yotsuba End, Jay. Yeah.
The last one I read was like the whole plot for like a couple chapters was Yotsuba and her neighbor developed this new technology, which is the can with the string tied between it. And they were like communicating through it. And it's just, the gags are so good and just great. And like, I feel like everybody can relate to that. Like they're all really relatable.
Great visual gags in it. Like one of my favorite panels is like the manga or the chapter just opens up with Yotsuba in like one of those big pumpkin costumes and then cuts to the other two teenage girls like with their phones out just taking pictures of her. No dialogue. It's just like it's just funny.
Yeah. Or when they bring in the robot. I forget what the robot's name is. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. No, yeah. The robot
oh man, it's so good.
That runs off of change. So they have to keep putting change in it. Yeah. Oh, it's so good, Jay. Look at him.
Jay, what manga do you want adapted into an anime?
I'm glad you asked. So when I made my list, I did 5.
You have 5?
I have 5.
I think I have 5 total that I could even qualify for. I think I have 2 that qualify.
So I did make a stipulation that it could be manga that have already been announced but haven't come out yet. Because I feel like that would be easier. Because we don't know if it'll be good because it's not out.
Okay, that drastically increases my list. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one I'm going to talk about is a romance manga. That hasn't been announced for an anime yet, but is really, really good, and also has enough content that it probably could become an anime at this point. And that's the Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. I've talked.
I've heard of this before.
God, yeah, here we go.
But like, it's just a really great romance with like 2 characters with great chemistry. The story feels very well connected, that like it wouldn't bore someone if it became an anime, kind of like what Mike was saying about Shikimori, where it was episodic. This is not that. It feels like this has more of like a joint narrative to be able to keep people invested, kind of like Horimiya, where like
holy cow, rated 85% on AniList.
It's really good.
Stop pumping his tires.
Anyway, I mean,
it's one of the best modern romance manga out there. I can't recommend it enough. And like,
how's Cole not reading this?
This
looks like incredibly up his alley.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Spite.
Yeah, because I gassed it up for him and he's like, no, I'm not reading this. How dare you?
Classic.
But like, I think like if someone like Cloverworks,
this is screaming Cloverworks. I'm just looking at like I'm watching the trailer video for the manga, and
like Cloverworks. I want to say KyoAni, but like, I'm kind of iffy on that.
Possibly, it really, looking at what it is, like all the pictures and stuff here, it really reminds me of A Silent Voice, but if it was more Horimiya, like less, if like just like the art style and like the way the characters are and stuff. But like, yeah, there's definitely
I guess the best way to describe it is like Horimiya meets Romeo and Juliet.
Okay. So what's like kind of the plot of it? Like, what's it about?
So like, it's basically about a delinquent boy who goes to like a delinquent school, and he meets this girl who goes to a neighboring school at his cake shop that he lives in, who like comes often and eats the cakes, and like the schools that they both go to are in a rivalry. But like, because she comes and eats the cakes, they like kind of hit it off outside of school and become friends. And then more than that, but also there's like that, because of the rivalry between the schools, there's a bit of drama there. Okay. But also not, because
so
like
Mario and Juliet.
Mario, it's me, Mario and Juliet.
It's me. Romeo and Juliet, essentially.
Yeah. Basically,
okay.
But like,
it
doesn't have like as much drama as Romeo and Juliet. Like, it's got like that, a lot more of that like wholesome, like slow burn romance to it than like they just meet and instantly they're in love.
So you're saying the main characters don't both die at the end of this one?
It's still ongoing, so jury's out on that one.
Yeah, by drinking poison or whatever.
Yeah. But like, it's probably my favorite ongoing romance manga right now. And if you want to read something like that, or watch something like that, if it gets an anime, I'd highly recommend it.
Do you know why I think this is definitely up Cole's alley? Is because like I'm getting like major Toradora vibes. If basically like the main dude kind of looks a little bit like Ryuji, because he's like a big, tall, delinquent looking dude, but he's like clearly very self-conscious and shy. And then there's just this like, if Taiga was actually not a tsundere and just a sweet little.
She's a cinnamon roll,
I guess. Yeah,
she's a cinnamon
roll. Taiga is a cinnamon roll.
Yeah, but she's like more tsundere than.
She also flying drop kicks people and beats them with swords.
No, Kagurabachi is not that. I made a whole gosh darn video on this. I don't need to dwell on it too much.
Check out Jay's YouTube video.
Garion on
Jay
YouTube.
Garion on YouTube. Is it my turn?
No.
Yes, Cole. What manga would you like?
Jay went with the romance manga, so I'm going to go with the romance manga as well. And I can't recall if this already has an anime adaptation, but I feel like it's really due for one. And I don't know, Jay, maybe if you've read this one, perhaps. It is a manga called Hitomi-chan is Shy with Strangers.
That sounds familiar.
Hitomi-chan is shy with strangers.
Basically, the whole concept of it is the girl is kind of like intimidating looking, but she's actually just super duper nice. And her senpai is also nice. It's just a cute manga.
So the description on AniList: tall and busty high school girl Takano Hitomi has shark teeth, a looming presence, and intense facial expression. However, Looks can be deceiving. Beneath her imposing frame and piercing glare and sweet rack, Hitomi-chan is a sweet first-year student who just wants to overcome her social anxiety and make some friends.
Mm-hmm.
The sweet rack I added, but I feel like it had to throw Busty.
I mean, you read between the lines. You got it.
Yeah.
No, I just it's a manga I keep up with. I feel like it would lend itself well to kind of that. I mean, similar to the Komi can't communicate, but a bit less. It's turned down a little bit. It's a little more realistic. Like Hitomi can talk to people.
Yeah.
She isn't completely mute.
Yeah.
She's just like aware that she is intimidating looking and she's nervous about it.
I feel like the character designs for this one definitely would lend itself well to an anime as well. Like it kind of like they look like they're already designed for an anime. So like, I could see it.
And then as far as like a studio goes, I mean, I don't know.
I feel like anyone can do this one. The thing with romance is like it kind of doesn't matter that much for studio as long as like because you don't have to.
Yeah, as long as you can like make the characters good looking, I guess. I don't know. Let me see. Who does Komi?
Is it Dogakobo?
No, it was
I don't know. It's hurting my brain right now.
OLM.
That's OLM. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sure. OLM.
Yeah. Like you could throw it a bunch of ways. Ufotable's not doing this one. Mappa's not doing this one.
No, they don't need to either.
Like
this one you just need
Studio
like,
Orange is not doing this one. Yeah.
You
could just
need
make it look okay, and you're good. Yeah. This actually looks kind of interesting to me, Cole, and it definitely doesn't surprise me that you're reading this one and this is the one you would pick. It just seems like an incredibly cool pick. Like you got the kind of intimidating girl and the like kind of innocent boy. It's just like sweet
but she's
romance
not
between
intimidating. Them. She's just a nice girl.
She looks intimidating though.
She looks intimidating. She's got the Ryuji thing going on again.
Yeah, it's kind of like gender swapped a little bit. It's honestly like a gender swap version of what Jay's last one kind of seems like.
Kind of. Yeah. Jay, I'm surprised you haven't heard of this one.
I've noticed it multiple times, and like there was another manga that I read a long time ago that looks very similar to this. So like I always think, it's that one. I've already read it, and I just
these ones are a dime a dozen. Like I could probably swap this out for like a million other things, but it's just I read this one. So
no, I recognize it, and like I just see it, and I'm like, oh, I've absolutely already read this one. When like I clearly haven't, but.
Mike, do you got another one?
Yeah, I can come up with one. You know what I think would actually make for a good anime?
Tell me.
There's this little manga that we reviewed on this podcast. And I could be wrong. I don't believe it was ever adapted into an anime, but it was adapted into a Hollywood motion picture. I think All You Need Is Kill could make for a great OVA or movie.
Like a more faithful adaptation. I'm sure that there's been an OVA.
How has that not been done? It has to.
No,
have been,
I think it was just the live action movie that.
That's crazy to me. For such like a it's honestly
you know what I
the only
confuse
relations
this with
on
often?
AniList are what?
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, no, that checks out.
Yeah, because that's I think that has an OVA.
Okay,
it's more faithful to the book as opposed to the Hollywood movie is kind of its own thing.
Yep.
No, this would be a great.
Honestly, though, and it would definitely. I feel like it's kind of a little more niche. Maybe it's not as big in Japan or something like that, but I feel like it's beloved enough that it would get a good adaptation. Because this one, unlike the last two that you guys said, would definitely require some like studio powers. Like the studio that gets this one matters. If it goes to some like rando studio or something,
for sure,
then it's questionable, right?
As far as studios for this one, I mean, Production IG would be really good.
Honestly,
that was the one I was thinking of. That
would be a very good one.
No, now you guys like Production IG. Is that how it is?
Let's
argue about Production IG.
I like them enough for them to be a B tier anime studio.
Yeah.
I do think that this is like literally their wheelhouse, the kind of sci-fi action. That's what they do best.
No, exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, you know, Ghost in the Shell, Psychopaths. I mean, this would fit their wheelhouse perfectly.
I feel like at some point in here we should actually maybe say like, if any of these are actually adapted, if anyone actually is us and is like actually there is a OVA of this movie that came out in like 1996.
Here, I'm gonna
it's
say
not popular. It's not popular. We don't know about it. We're idiots.
If it is, then blame AniList, because I'm looking at AniList while I'm
that's how I'm proofing them too a little bit.
Yeah, if you're gonna hit us with the actually, shut your mouth.
Or actually, you know what? I don't mind being actually. Just come to our Discord and do it. Discord links in the description.
Yeah. Come to our Discord and actually us.
Yes, please do.
Very good.
Very good. All you need is kill though. I think it could be I don't think it would be maybe a good full anime. Like I don't think.
I think a 2-part OVA would be good. Or a movie.
Or like a Netflix special or something, kind of like Pluto.
Yeah, it couldn't. I don't think like a full 12 episode, like a full core.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking kind of like just like its own special thing rather than like a full, not necessarily the same length, but
I feel like they could stick pretty close to the source material and get it pretty good. It is a 2-volumer, so I guess technically that should maybe like a 2 episode OVA, like Cole said, would probably be the right fit. 4? Yeah,
4. I split each one into 2.
Like 30-minute episodes.
Yeah. You know, really, I think you could make 2 like 4-hour-long things.
Maybe. Possibly. It'd be cutting it close, I think, at that point. I think you'd be starting to run out.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to make
do it. Do it. I challenge you.
Please do.
Okay, Jay, you're going to be the girl, and Mike, you'll be the boy.
Okay, what voice? Okay, Jay, we have to kiss now.
Yeah. First...
Wait, I looked the wrong way.
Though,
just give Cole a peck on the cheek.
Yeah, you gave us both one. Jay, it's your turn.
So I'm gonna jump off this movie adaptation kind of thing, and go into something that I think would honestly be like on the level of like a Silent Voice or something like that.
That's fighting words.
And I'm gonna say 3 Days of Happiness.
Okay.
I've read the novel and also the manga, and they're both just really, really good. For a brief synopsis of the plot, it's basically about selling your lifespan. So the main character, who's kind of like down on his luck, kind of depressed, sells the rest of his life except for 3 days.
Wasn't there a movie like that just came out?
Yeah, it sounds super familiar. It sounds super
Justin
familiar.
Timberlake.
Yes. Right.
The one where time is kind of
yeah, I forget what it is. You're right,
what
though.
It's called, but I know what you're talking
similar
about.
Plot. Definitely, I'm sure it's a very different vibe from this one. What was it called again, Jay?
Vibe.
Your one?
3 Days of Happiness.
3 Days of Happiness.
So basically, like it's about this guy living out those last 3 days on Earth, kind of with the clerk that he's like that worked at the place that he sold his life to, and just kind
in
of
time.
Yeah,
In
okay.
Time.
I thought it was In Time, but I was like, is that the right movie or is that a different movie?
I had no guess at the name, but yes, this is a novel, right? This is not a manga.
It's both a novel and a manga. It got a manga adaptation.
Jay's not cheating. Jay's not cheating.
He was cheating for a sec.
Mike, yours was a novel too.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yours was technically a novel. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Jay, continue.
But I like the art of this one.
I mean, like, I love the drama of it, of that like psychological idea. Like, I think more of the novel than I do the manga, but like, it starts off asking like, if you could sell your life, how much would you sell it for? And like this idea of like the value of life, and asking those like philosophical questions. The dynamic between the two main leads is great. it's kind of more something that like you need to experience than me talking about would kind of sell you on. But like
I can kind of tell because it like the description here for the manga is pretty sparse, and usually that means that it's like kind of one of those ones where you just kind of have to read it and just kind of experience it. And I will thank you, Jay, because you just put me on to something. I see that it is 18 chapters only for this. I'm probably going to read this, actually. This seems intriguing to me. It's rated quite well.
Honestly, it's phenomenal. Yeah. Like, I don't talk this positively about like too much, but like
you're quite the hater, yes.
Yeah, but like genuinely, this is one of the few things I'd give like a 10 out of 10 to, if not like an 11.
For the listeners and Cole and I are people who put a bit of stock into like ratings and stuff. It's rated between 85 to 90 on AniList, so it's pretty. The people agree with Jay on this one.
Yeah,
the people have spoken.
For more.
Oh, go ahead, Jay.
For more context, Gigek also did a video on it talking about the manga, and he loves it too. He does a bit more of like a in-depth analysis on it, and I'm not going to spend that much time talking about it. But like, if you want a bit more in-depth talk, go watch that video because it was a great video. Plug for small YouTuber Gigek.
Yeah, indie YouTuber Gigek.
But
he needs it.
Yeah, I like. And to be fair, I think that this would probably be best as a movie. Probably by like, I don't know, probably like KyoAni. Or like,
I was gonna say, based on your description, KyoAni would probably be the way to go.
The art style definitely would match something like that too, just from like looking at it here. Honestly, this, hear me out, boys. You know who this seems like it would actually suit, just kind of like from looking at the stuff here. I'm seeing a male lead and a female lead standing in front of like a big horizon in small town Japan.
Makoto Shinkai?
Like a Makoto Shinkai. It kind of just looks like a Makoto Shinkai movie poster. And I'm thinking it could happen.
I think that
it's got the sci-fi element to it a little bit.
His thing could suit it. The thing
I mean, hate him or love him, like Shinkai movies are gorgeous.
Great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The thing that I'm thinking about is like he normally does like his own original stuff and doesn't normally adapt, which is the one thing that I think would like realistically stop that. But like in terms of a good suit, no, you're definitely right.
Yeah, everything else kind of lines up. Like it honestly kind of, just from like my little bit of browsing here, it kind of feels like a Shinkai film. Yeah.
Well, prepare to get hit in the feels with my next one. Because this one, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to hurt.
Okay.
It's going to hurt y'all.
Okay.
And this is one I think would be a great anime that people would only be able to watch once. And that is Goodnight Punpun.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're not wrong, partner.
It would
be. But there's a reason why it hasn't happened as well.
Yeah.
I can tell you that
it would
much.
be very difficult to adapt, but I feel like with the right like person to take it on, like I don't know if he would do it, but
we're in fantasy land. You can just pretend.
Hideaki Anno would be really good.
No, that'll never happen.
But honestly, and hear me out. I would a KyoAni version of Goodnight Punpun, like absolutely gorgeous, but just so devastatingly
like dark,
like just pain, Pecco,
pure pain.
My idea for Goodnight Punpun, all of the characters are animated except for Punpun. He's kind of just like a cardboard cutout
like,
of his little character.
Like kind of like in Spider-Verse where like the different characters are on different animation levels.
He wouldn't even be animated. And honestly, he might not even have a voice. Like he might just speak with speech bubbles. Like because like he is,
it would need some artsy stuff going on for sure.
Yeah, he's so like separated from like the reality of the world, and that's why he thinks of himself as like a bird character.
I feel like if they're going to do something like that, I feel like Shaft would be the studio.
I know. I feel like he was just leading into Shaft. Yeah. Cole, what if he started off as like basically a cardboard cutout, and then the further it goes along as his mood improves, he starts like moving more and more.
Does his movement improve?
Well, he kind of becomes more. It kind of goes through peaks and valleys, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, there is a point in the manga where he's more human, just with a bird head.
Yeah,
okay,
that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, at that point he would move around, but you know what I mean? Like it would.
Yeah,
I just think like it would be devastatingly beautiful.
It would definitely take a very nuanced touch, and it definitely needs. I can see why it hasn't been done. Mm-hmm. And I see your KyoAni and I see Jay's Shaft, and I raise you a Madhouse.
Yeah. I mean, Madhouse
like they could do a good job with this one too.
Yeah.
It'd be a long anime though.
I'm thinking it'd probably be more OVAs.
It would almost have to be an OVA,
maybe like 7-part OVAs where they would separate them, like each volume into an hour-long OVA.
Yeah. And if the listeners are wondering, hey, what's this Goodnight Punpun about? We literally can't talk about it really without spoiling a ton of stuff. It's essentially about a boy going crazy, sort of.
Well, the Goodnight Punpun is about growing up, but
the darkness of growing up.
Not in a good way.
The darkness of growing up. Yeah.
The manga I kind of associate this with, and I think this one's more obscure, is Takapi's Original Sin, which just came out in print, where it's kind of like this alien learning about human emotion. So like he goes down, and he like watches over this girl, and spoilers, it gets very dark.
Tell me about that one later. I'm interested.
I think maybe a good sign for your thirst for this adaptation, Cole, is another manga that hasn't been adapted. I don't know if I want to make it my next one that I want to talk about, but we also reviewed it on the podcast, Dead Demons Destruction. It is getting a 2-part OVA animation or a 2-part movie, one of the two. It's kind of hard to tell the difference nowadays of like between a movie and an OVA. But it's getting a 2-parter, and it's going to adapt the whole thing. And it is not nearly as dark as this, and it definitely is more suited to an anime, so I can see why they went that route. But just to adapt something by Inio Asano, and just I feel like that's a step in the direction of getting Punpun adapted.
Yeah. These are just very extremely wishful thinking. I don't think it'll ever be adapted, and that's fine. Like the manga is probably going off of what Jay said, like this manga is a 10 out of 10. It is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece you can really only read once because it is heavy.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably one of the bigger reasons why it hasn't gotten an anime, because like at the same time, how do you get sponsors or like things like that to kind of
and like just the pure you need a trigger warning at the beginning of like it would be a tough one to like market.
If I had millions of dollars, I would fund it.
Yeah, it'd have to be some kind of passion project. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, do you have a third one?
I do actually. And this one,
why don't you tell us about it?
Jay opened it up to this one, and I'm glad he did, because me and Jay can gush about it a little bit here. It is getting an anime confirmed recently. It is a little manga that Jay put me and my wife Shazana onto, known as Ao no Hako, or Blue Box. And it is essentially about it's like a love triangle type story. It's I know, me coming with a romance one to the party here. What about that? But the twist, there's a twist of this love triangle. The boy, he's a very good badminton player, and he's trying to get better. The girl that he's crushing on is like an all-star basketball player and certified cutie. And then his childhood friend, of course there's a childhood friend involved. She's in, is it gymnastics? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's gymnastics.
Yeah. And the typical stuff ensues. But I think where this one shines is that it's really freaking pretty. And you kind of mix a little bit of like honest to God, good sports action in with the romance to like break things up. It does a really good, it sounds like a crazy fit, but it actually really works quite well. And I think go ahead.
I think the thing that like really helps with that is like they use the sports stuff in a way where like it supports the relationships between the characters. Like they are always like cheering each other on, being their like best supporters. So like you see like when one of them does like something really hype, like the other one will be like, oh, great job, or like when they're down on their luck, they'll be like there to cheer them up or something, like
be like, boo, you suck. You know, like a relationship.
Yeah, like a real. I do appreciate it because it is something, like I've said it before in the podcast, that anime ages kind of confuse me. This is not one of those times where like these kids feel like teenagers going through it. Yeah. Trying to figure out what's going on, what they actually feel, and just like, and also while trying to be like good at a sport too. Like you got a lot going on. There's a lot of balls in the air, if you would allow me that metaphor.
No,
and I think it'd make a nice little anime here. And I don't know, did they announce who's animating it?
Not officially.
Not officially.
I think.
What does that mean, Jay? Jay has a rumor that he wants to say.
So it was leaked that the studio was Cloverworks, but like that's not official or anything.
It's kind of the natural fit that I feel like we've discovered here. I could see some other studios taking it up, but Cloverworks would definitely be the one because they make freaking beautiful stuff, and I'd love to see them do a sports anime.
Who's the studio that did Hanebado?
Jay.
Yeah.
What if they did a movie of this
Blue
manga, but like the one shot original one of it,
like the original one shot that predated the pilot one shot?
Yeah.
See, the thing is that like I think that would be interesting. But at the same time, like I feel like that there are other developments in the manga outright that I'd kind of miss out on.
I think you would. Yeah. In my dream world, they would both be released. Like the movie would be one thing, and they would. Like they're two completely separate continuities.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
like
just...
Blue Box was one of like the first manga where like I read the one shot before the manga even became like an official thing. And
I think
like,
I did too.
Man, I
you turned me onto it.
And I was like, man, I really want this to be a series. And then it became a series, and it's still really good.
That being said, I dropped this manga.
How dare.
I could see that, honestly.
I really don't know why I did. Because like everything there I like. It's just I don't know, something about it.
I think you're missing the girl being a little mean to you. You're missing the step on me energy a little bit.
I think at the same time, like if you're reading a lot of something very similar, and like from what I understand with Cole, like when he finds romance manga, he kind of like has a lot of them. So like there's that bandwidth thing of like I only want, like if I'm reading something kind of similar, then like one's gotta go.
You should see the list of manga I'm reading. It's
I'm almost certain that like the amount of manga that are on your Ani list does not reflect the actual amount of manga you read.
No. I don't even track my manga on any list. I gave up. Tracking manga is tough. Yeah. But Jay, do you have
less fun? I like tracking the manga though, because like if I pause a manga for a long time, and then I'm kind of like, God, where am I even? And then it's good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's what it's good for.
So
before we move on.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I just want to ask you guys, since you both read it, Chinatsu or Hina?
I like the childhood friend.
The childhood friend, Hina?
Yeah.
I think I like Hina too. I think I'm a Hina guy. Yeah. And Jay?
Chinatsu.
Yeah, obviously.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Now, what's your next manga? Tell us about your illustrious taste.
How many more are we each gonna get?
I was thinking like one or two more.
Yeah,
one or two more. Okay,
yeah, like you'll do two, I'll do two, and Mike will have we'll do one last round after this.
Okay.
One.
Yeah.
So for this next one, I'm gonna go with one that already got an anime announced, but I think like would probably be at least decently big. If it got an anime, or if like when people watch it, it's a sci-fi one that kind of gives a little bit of Psycho-Pass vibes, at least to me, based on a light novel, and that's Your Forma.
Okay.
I've sung the praises of Your Forma in the past.
Not Your Forger, Your Forma.
No, like Your is in Your Forma.
Okay.
So basically, the plot of Your Forma is essentially it's a mystery series where detectives have this device called the Your Forma, which allows the people who use it to read the emotions and memories of their targets. And so the main character, Echika, is like I want to say prodigy, but like basically it's kind of balanced out because like she's really good at it, but like when you use the Your Forma, you need a partner to kind of like anchor you back because you dive into the person's memories. And every partner she's had in the past has kind of like lost consciousness because of how far she can dive into people's memories and emotions and that. So she partners with this AI that's like hyper realistic in like how human and how human they are. And so like she partners with an AI to use the Your Forma and do that. And it's basically about the two of them solving various mysteries, as well as like other things that come into play, like the idea of like what is the line between AI and human, and like the past of or like Echika's past comes into play, and like different things like that. It's a very interesting sci-fi story. If you like things like Psycho-Pass, 86 or things like that, I think this would be right up your alley.
It definitely feels like that very like Psycho-Pass. That's the first one that came to my mind. And again, if there's an anime studio for this, it's Production IG. It just it feels like a cop out to say it, but it's in the same vein, right?
Yeah, and like I mean, an anime is already on the way. So
is it? I see that alternative TV, because this is another one that you have a manga and a light novel for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's quickly add this to the list of things that I'd want to read.
No studio announced, but producer is Twin
yet.
Engine. Whatever. Let's see what they've done. Oh my goodness, Cole. You're gonna like this one. Ancient Mage's Bride, Vinland Saga, Golden Kamui, The Girl from the Other Side.
That's the producer. So I mean,
that's
like
the producer,
it could
but
be
that's
something like MAPPA or WIT from the different studios, or from like the different things I'm looking at. It could be something like that.
I was more going the art of like the way the producer to me would they decide how the anime or how it will be adapted, right?
Yeah. Like
so
we don't even
that's
know,
a good sign.
Yeah, we don't really like have any info on even who the staff is, just that it's coming.
Yeah.
Right. So, but
no, it seems like it'd be a cool one. I could see this one also, because I think is the anime or the manga done for this one? Is it completed?
Still.
Oh no, it says releasing. Yeah. I feel like this one could do well with a movie or an OVA as well, just because like it's a little more brain heavy.
And
it could do it feels like it could do with maybe the increased budget that comes with the movie or an OVA.
Man, I smell a best girl coming. I just looked at the first like couple pages, man.
She does have short hair, that is true.
Oh baby, I'm scratching myself. This episode's over. I'm going to read this.
I gave Cole a series that I really like, and he also would vibe with it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in."
I'm in, baby. Okay.
The manga does have an official release, by the way, Cole. So if you do like it, you can buy into it and give it your money.
Hey man, you know what? It's funny. Like sci-fi anime has this reputation of being like for nerds, right? Like there's so little sci-fi manga and anime, like good sci-fi.
Wrong nerds. If you're thinking of Star Wars nerds, or Star Trek nerds, it's for Lord of the Rings nerds.
No, I know. It's just
video
like
game nerds.
It's like sci-fi just like doesn't really go without well in manga form. Like you'll see like the odd good sci-fi, like obviously Ghost in the Shell,
Knights of Sidonia is a good manga.
Even like if you were to look at Shonen Jump, the big one I think of is World Trigger, right? Like not like super popular, but like it still has its following. But like for the most part, you'll see like sci-fi stuff come out and like it gets its cult following, but it doesn't get like big, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless your name is Neo Genesis Evangelion, but
what I was saying was like I want to support sci-fi manga. So I'd be buying into that. But it's my turn. And I'm going to keep the train of shows that have been announced running with Alya sometimes hides her feelings in Russian.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Alya?
Yeah.
How do you spell Alya?
Alya.
Oh, yeah.
Alya.
Alya, yeah. I'm dyslexic.
Alya, okay.
Yeah. I recently started reading this manga, and it is cute AF.
It's sugar.
What do it be about?
It do be about this girl who is her father is Russian, her mother is Japanese.
Okay.
And she's kind of like the school like
princess
Madonna, right?
Yeah.
The
princess of Jay likes her. She's got silver hair, as every Russian in anime does.
And she always will say things in Russian to kind of hide her either disgust
like
or
on
hold on, it's mine.
He can't resist. He can't resist.
So she'll say Russian to either hide her disgust with somebody or to hide her true feelings for someone. She's got a crush on her seat, her next seat neighbor in class.
Her seatmate.
So she'll constantly say like, "Oh, he's cute," and blah blah blah. Little does she know that he knows Russian because for various reasons.
His grandfather taught him Russian when he was a kid. Is the explanation that it gives.
Yeah, it's just a cute slice of life romance manga, and it is being adapted by Doga Kobo. So we know
April
who
2024 soon.
Yes, very soon.
I'm gonna have to fight you for this one.
Apparently. I thought I was slipping under the radars with this one, but it gives you that sweet hit of just cutesy cuteness.
Can I give you the full light novel title?
You may.
Yeah. The neighboring Arya-san, who sometimes acts affectionate and murmuring and rushing Alya, who sits next to me, sometimes whispers sweet nothings in Russian. Oh, that's two different titles. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Never mind. I thought it was a really long title, but it's not.
I mean, it's a light novel, so
it's a light novel. Yeah.
I can accept.
No,
it.
I think this has potential. You guys can definitely fight over this one.
We'll fight over it. Jay, who's best girl? Is it Alya or is it his sister?
I mean, spoilers, but
I realize that. I'll bleep it out. Or is it?
Honestly, I kind of like her Alya's older sister. I don't know if you've met her.
Alya's older sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you met her yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like her. Yeah. She's kind of got like that One-san vibe.
Well, she's literally One-san.
Yeah. But I don't know. But like, she's also got that like cutesy, like not One-san vibe, and like it just it meshes well together, and she's adorable.
Yeah. No, it's good. This will be a fun anime. Mike, you have one final one.
Oh my goodness.
Godzilla Final Wars. Let's go.
Godzilla Final Wars? What does that mean?
It's a movie.
Oh.
It's the one where Godzilla blows up American Godzilla, 1997 Godzilla.
Oh no. I don't want that to happen.
Look it up, listeners.
Honestly, I'm running out of things to pick here.
Mike, do you want to talk about Kaiju number 8?
No, I don't.
No, shut up.
All right.
I'm going to go.
I tried to help you.
I'm going to go with a weird one. I want a one episode OVA of this.
Okay.
It is a beloved little manga that it's kind of like a cult classic. And basically it's about this like girl who she's basically an eternal, kind of like in To Your Eternity a little bit. Like she's lived for a super, super long time.
Yeah.
But kind of the twist is that she does age and she does like grow up, but how it works is like her daughter always takes on her form and just passes on all her knowledge to her daughter, and the mother like kind of loses her mind. And it's just like this like very somber. I don't like that. It's really kind of like dark and very melancholic, but it's just very it's so nice and deep, and it just like makes you, it just kind of like lets you sit there and like really feel as you're reading it. And I think it would make for a fantastic like one long maybe movie or OVA or something like that. The manga that I'm talking about is there's a couple different titles to it. It's either Emanon or Emanon Wanderer or Memories of Emanon. And basically, if you break down Emanon, it's am anonymous because she doesn't really have a name really. Like she's like literally been around since like prehistory, like before, like when people first emerged and the reptile crawled out of the ocean, and then she was like already like becoming this person. And it's just like a super interesting story. I'd like to see it adapted. It's definitely not like, it's not an action, it's not really a slice of life. It's not anything. It's just like a very like philosophical thing. And it's just, I think it'd be really quite the ride to go along. And I don't think, the problem is I don't think this is going to happen because it wouldn't be like a commercial success or anything, but I like it a lot. I really enjoy it. I highly recommend the manga to anyone who's willing to check out something like that and likes like a nice, like thoughtful thing, I guess is maybe what I would say. Do you guys have any other ones?
Well, I just want to comment on that because when I said I don't like that, I don't mean that as like I don't mean like I don't like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean
that concept is one of those things that scares me.
Yeah, no, it's really like strange because like there's a point where like it starts off, she's on a boat with like, and she's talking to this dude, and it's like, it's kind of like the manga we reviewed, Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You, where she's like on this boat with this guy and she like shares a smoke with him, and they kind of just like hit it off. And then like years later, so that the first one takes place in 1967, and then I think like in like 1980 or 1990 or something, they meet again, and he's much older, but she's like reborn as as her daughter already. So she remembers him, but she looks exactly the same as she did when he last saw her. And he's like, oh, you can't be her. But this is just like, it's just like a very introspective thing. And it's like, what does it mean to be alive? And what are you really doing? And
well, it's that whole concept of like, we think about like the singularity, right? We upload our consciousness to a computer. Well, what if you upload your consciousness to a computer and then you just wake up in your body? Right? And your consciousness, meanwhile, is in the computer, but it's just a copy of your consciousness.
I mean, it's like that ship problem, right? Like,
no, it really is
replacing the parts over time, and then you rebuild the same ship, or you rebuild another ship with the old parts. Which one's the original ship?
Or like the Prestige.
Called, but yes.
The Prestige with Hugh Jackman, if you've seen that movie.
Great movie.
Yeah. Jay.
Yes.
Yeah. So for my final adaptation, I think like out of all of them, this is probably the one that probably would most likely get an adaptation out of all the ones that I talked about. And probably the one that
other than the one that is actually getting an anime adaptation.
Yeah. And probably the one that would be the most popular, because it kind of hits all those boxes of like we talked about in the first half. The big thing right now is like that dark supernatural kind of vibe, or like dark shonen, like Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen. That kind of fits with this one, but I like this one more. And that's Gokurakugai. It's basically a monthly manga that releases kind of in the same magazine as like Blue Exorcist and things like that. But anyway, it's basically like these two people run this like kind of like an Odd Jobs, I don't want to say company, but like service, I guess, where they'll like do odd jobs for people, but like on the side beneath the surface, they're also hunting these like yokai adjacent beings that kind of haunt the underbelly of the world. And so like you have like that dark supernatural side to it, with the two leads kind of hunting them down, trying to make sure that people don't die.
It's a good way to put it. Yeah. No, this honestly, like just looking at it here, and yeah, like you've kind of summarized it quite well. The bright and bustling working class district with a hidden side, and then they're troubleshooters for hire, basically, right? Yeah. And this definitely looks like it's honestly, like, just looking at it here, one of the top under the recommendations thing here is Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Kagurabachi. And it really reminds me a lot of that Kagurabachi a little bit, like just the art style, kind of the vibe of what I'm seeing here.
Yeah. I think
in a good way though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that this one holds like it feels a bit more unique than Kagurabachi. And kind
I'm seeing
of like
that one of the main characters is a dog, so that you're on. Yep.
The dog kind of hasn't really appeared too much in recent chapters, but
there's a character named Auntie, which I like too.
My favorite character.
And like I think like the paneling is really well done. The story's interesting. Like it's kind of just getting started. I think it has like 11 or 12 chapters out, which is kind of in the same space as Kagurabachi, but like it feels like it's off to a better start than where Kagurabachi is right now. And I think if you were to check it out, you'd probably see like, oh yeah, this is something worth my time.
Okay. Oh yeah. Who's animating this, Jay?
As much as I don't want to say it, because like I feel like it's the obvious choice for the kind of vibe it gives off, I feel like Mappa would do a good job with this.
Yeah.
Mappa.
It's kind of the answer.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. If anyone likes Kimono Jihen or Deadpool Samurai, the author was an assistant on both of those.
Yeah. If anybody likes Komodo dragons and
Gila monsters
and and Jurassic Park,
and don't forget like a nice cup of tiramisu as well.
Hit me up. Let's talk. Okay, my turn with my final one. And
take us home.
This is another one that we reviewed, a manga that we reviewed, which I would love to see adapted into an anime, and I almost forgot about it. Kowloon, Generic Romance, would be a great anime. A great mystery anime. I think Kowloon in and of itself is such an interesting, it would be such a cool aesthetic, that kind of cyberpunky neon lights, just it would be gorgeous. Once again, it being in color compared to the black and white manga, it would just lend itself very well to being animated.
As far as studios go, we've reviewed on the podcast too, right?
Yeah.
I almost went with this one as my last one too. I agree with you on this.
Yeah. As far as studios go for this one, I'm not 100%
I don't
sure.
know. It's got that very very stylistic and very interesting look to it that I think maybe not every studio could pull off. But I did just go and I did just see that one of the recommendations for people who like this is After the Rain.
Yeah, it's
and
the same.
That's by Studio Wit, right?
I was gonna say Wit,
so that
or
like
IG.
A natural fit. Yeah, IG I could see too, because it's got that kind of like cyberpunky vibe to it as well.
Or not to toot my favorite studio's horn, but Shaft would be good too.
I was thinking Shaft too. I think that they'd probably do a good job with this show.
It's not necessarily action heavy, but it still has like an aestheticness to it that I think
I feel like
Shaft
they do a good
nail.
job of capturing how in the manga they're very cognizant of the camera, like how the how the shots are framed and stuff like that. And I'm literally saying how the shots are framed for a manga. Like it just shows how well this would be adapted.
Yeah, and like I think that it comes off initially as one thing, and then like when it kind of flips that on its head by the end of volume 1, I think that Shaft did do a really good job with that dichotomy.
Yeah.
And handling that tonal change.
Yeah, agreed.
I will say too that I'm looking at the recommendations for the manga of Kowloon Generic Romance. After the Rain was one. Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You is also one. And Memories of Emanon is another. So we're on a similar track towards the end here.
Well, there we go. There it is.
Now, Cole, before you close us off, you had a manga you wanted us to read.
I do have a manga that I wanted us to read, which is going to be adapted actually in the next season of anime. And that manga will be Chained Soldier.
How chained is this soldier?
He is chained up, and he is turning into a big boy.
He was big. Wait, what? He's a big boy?
He's a big boy.
2, Return of the Jiggle.
Oh boy, we're getting some jiggly bits.
We're getting some jiggly bits. We're
Studio
getting some
7 Arcs will be animating it.
We're not worrying about the anime yet.
What is that?
We're worrying about the manga.
But we're a little worried about the anime now, I think, after hearing that. Oh, they did Tonikawa. Okay.
Yeah, I think this will be real goofy. This will be a fun time. Yeah.
I like Goofy. Goofy's always fun.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read the synopsis for it? Oh, was Jay about to do that?
I was going to say, for those who are curious, this is by the same author as Akame ga Kill. So if you like Akame ga Kill, come join us for this review.
Yeah. Mike, if you've got the synopsis there, why don't you go ahead and read that for us?
Decades ago, gates to an otherworldly and dangerous dimension known as Mato, the Demon City, appeared across Japan. Those who partook in the peaches growing there gained unique abilities, but only if they're girls. When down in the dumps, high school boy Yuki Wakara finds himself up in a gate. He's saved by Kyoka Uzen, the beautiful commander of the 7th Squad of the Demon Defense Force, who orders him to become her slave? I read that exactly as it was written.
Question mark?
It's question mark and exclamation mark. Honestly, this seems fun. I'm excited. This is going to be a good one.
Yep. Yeah, it's a fun time. Yeah, and also, I mean, down with the patriarchy. Am I right, boys?
That's right. Step on me, matriarchy.
It's got a lot of step on me, mommy.
It's got a lot of step on me energy.
And you know what? Like our last one, it has a sword on there's a very prominent sword, and I like a good sword in an.
There's a very prominent sword.
Yeah. I got some other news for you guys as well.
Oh, please do tell.
I've tabulated the results for our next review.
Oh, please. I want you to tell me the results of this.
Well, okay. In third place will be a show that we're not reviewing because no one wants us to review it.
Apparently.
Haruhi Suzumiya. We will not be reviewing you this time.
Ooh, I am so sorry.
We will also not be reviewing Seraph of the End.
Wait.
Which means for the holiday season anime review, listener's choice numero 3, we will be reviewing. Cole?
Yes.
Would you like to tell them?
I would love to tell them, and specifically Jay, that we will be reviewing Toradora.
No,
my favorite Christmas anime.
I quit. I'm out of here. No, I'm joking.
So here we go with the manga, with the anime that all 3 of us have watched before. But I love Toradora.
I'm due for a rewatch.
I'm excited.
To be fair, when I watched Toradora, I was still watching dubs. So I've only watched the dub of Toradora.
The dub for Toradora is pretty good.
It's pretty good
dub.
I'm probably going to watch this one.
I'm going to put my critical hat on. I'm going to put my critical hat on for this one. So stay tuned for that one. I think we'll be reviewing that in the next week or two. I have something here. That's a review. we got a
5-star Apple Podcast review.
Yeah, we got a 5-star review from Juzze. I'm assuming that's just Juz from Patreon.
From the patron.
Yeah.
Hey, all reviews count.
All reviews count.
Especially patron reviews, actually.
Especially patron reviews. You know what? Yes. This one gets a gold star from me.
Oh, it gets a silver and platinum star from me.
Jay?
Gets a rock. No, I'm kidding. It gets a
a rock star.
It's a rock star. Oh,
it's a rock star.
That's so fitting because Juz actually plays in a metal band. He is literally a rock star.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
sweet.
Sweet, yep. Yeah. Welcoming Podcast is the title of this review. Jumped into this podcast around episode 60 something and been an avid listener ever since. They bring a friendly and approachable style to the world of anime, giving off strong vibes of hanging out with 3 friends talking all things otaku. They've helped me. They've helped recommend anime/manga and give insightful looks at series I'm already familiar with, even if no one agrees with Mike. 10 out of 10. Don't change a thing and keep up the great work, fellas. We will not change a thing.
We're going to change everything starting next week.
We're comfortable in our
we're in our routine now.
We're in our routine. We won't change anything because change is scary.
Scary.
So scary.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Anime Protagonist Podcast. You can follow us at our social medias at AniProPod. Leave a like, review, subscribe, give us 5 stars, just like Just Juz did. Tell a friend about us. Links to everything is also at our website, AniProPod.com. You can come over to our Discord as well. We've got watch parties, games, chats. You can tell us if we've done anything to us, embarrass ourselves. Come over there and let us know.
Please do.
Yeah. And if you really like us, you can support us on Patreon. You get an early bonus episode, every week as well. Extra votes in our votes. Good sentencing.
Extra votes in our
I sentence you
for listeners' choice.
Yes.
What do you sentence you to finish your ending spiel?
Sentence me to read these patrons. Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Braindead B-Dog, Super Mexi, Peach, Frama, Kratos, and Just Juz. Thank you all for supporting the podcast. You can also support the podcast by clicking on that link in the description and using the code AniPro to get $5 off your first order at Tokyo Treat. That's it for this week, but we'll be back next week. Mike, why don't you close it out this week.
You know what? Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.